Welcome to the Local Business Show. Seth Green is a nationally recognized marketer who is the nation's foremost authority on growing local businesses through direct response marketing podcasts, and the only person to be nominated 3 times for the GKIC Dan Kennedy Marketer of the Year Award. Seth will be joined by a capable cohort of co-hosts who are each local business marketing experts in their own right. On the podcast, Seth and his co-hosts brings together small business owners and other local business authorities to share with you their inspiring stories of how they started their local business, how they serve their local business clients, how they grow their local business, and how you can too. And now, here's your host.
All right, so hello, I'm Trevor Isman, host of the Innovate America Great Again podcast and co-host of the Local Business Show, part of the Umbrella Local Network. My guest today is Maxine Shapiro of MaxineShapiro.com. Maxine is an international keynote speaker and founder of the innovative Collaborcate workshop and host of the Let's Talk About Sex podcast, empowering people to have an audacious, outrageous, and legendary employee and customer experience. And just to be clear, that's CEX, customer and employee experience, for anyone who's not familiar with the sex term. Maxine has incorporated her 25 years in the business and financial industries with her acting and comedic background at the Second City Improv Lab to help entrepreneurs and employees alike to step out of their comfort zone and discover their best ideal self. In addition to working with entrepreneurs and the hospitality industry, Maxine has accolades from national power companies such as Fox Entertainment Group, Zappos, Papyrus, and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, to mention a few. Maxine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Trevor. Great to be here.
We're happy to have you. So where did you grow up? And is that where you decided to open your business?
Okay, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. And my business, I'm very happy to say, can be done at the local Starbucks if I wanted, if it was quiet enough. So I had done a lot of my financial work and background came from the floor of the Chicago Board of Trade, as well as my acting, and then being a student of the Second City Improv Lab, renowned for being the original improvisation group and location.
Okay, great. And so now you're in California.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Great.
And once again, traveling all over them.
Yeah, for what you do, it doesn't really matter where you are or where the customer is. You're going to go there, or it's going to be virtual either way, right? You're doing both virtual workshops and in person.
Oh yeah, and did them all in person before the pandemic.
Right.
And quickly switched them over to virtual. No one realized they could have that much fun in the Zoom room. I mean, whoa, what is she doing here? Look at this. And, you just see people change right there. It's great.
So there wasn't really much of a difference. I mean, obviously it's different in person, but as far as the results go, was it much different doing it virtually?
Oh, good question, Trevor. No, once people got comfortable with it, this is where I'm going to learn. It was such a jolt for everybody. And my goal in the beginning was to get people to be comfortable in this. And one of the number one components of improvisation of a great, audacious, legendary customer experience and an engaging, sincere, empowering employee experience is empathy. So the first thing that I did when we got online was, gosh, let's have empathy for each other. You've got, Jose over there who's got, it looks like he's alone. And then you've got, Joanne, whose kids are at her foot, and we all had to realize that we were all in this together in the Zoom room and get a little empathy for each other. I mean, I remember going, oh, look, you've got all those people around you. I would kill to be alone. And then you people that were alone were going, I'm going crazy, I'm alone. So it was just a matter of understanding and like all good communication, finding connection right away. So that's just a human thing. And we got to be more human in our customer experience. Just do.
Right. Probably more important now than ever before. I would think what you do is probably more important now than ever before.
You know, and it's so simple at the same time. You know,
Right.
all I do is allow people to improvise. And I come in the back way so that they don't go, oh, do I have to be funny? Oh no, what do I do? You know, I go, no, this isn't performance improv. It's not, you and your boss are at a bus stop. You know, it's not that at all. You know, I think people
That's
go
an
immediately
important
to,
distinction because that is the first place I went when I
yeah, right.
had to learn about what to
Whose
do.
line is it
Oh
anyway?
no, this is scary.
Yeah.
So how did the idea to use improvisation as a tool for creativity and innovation in business come about? Like, how did that connection happen?
Well, at the time, I had one financial radio show. I was living in Dallas, Texas then. And then I was asked to be on NPR on a weekly basis on Marketplace, one of the most widely listened to business broadcasts in the country. I say it's often. And then it was supposed to be a year contract for the local NPR, local affiliate, and they found money for the second year. And just as they were going, you know, hey, Max, we got to move on because we need that money. All of a sudden, I said, I need 4 days of immersing myself in improv. I need to just not think. I need to just do and be. Trevor, second exercise out of the gate, I went, does this translate to business? Learning how to say yes and instead of yes but. Just listening. Just saying, what I like about that idea is all these exercises of thinking quick on your feet, you know, being able to, again, as I said, listen and then not edit your own ideas, because in improv, if you can't think it, you have to just open your mouth up. And when you're given that kind of safe space to do it in, 100% of the time it's positive. You can, because you've been given the rules, because there are rules in improv. There's some definite rules in improv. And within those rules, you can just open up your mouth and someone will go, and what if we do this? And what if we do that? And before you know it, you know, you've got yourself a bold, audacious, outrageous, legendary experience.
So maybe you could explain that a little bit. Like, I mean, I don't think we can say, let's talk about sex and not talk about it in the podcast. You know, like I mentioned this, your podcast. What is that going to be? You know, just explain that for our guests, what that is going to mean.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's spelled CEX. So already some people may go, really? But yeah, you don't want to hear the other one from me. That's for sure. So CEX is the acronym for customer experience is CX and employee experience is EX. So it's just a takeoff on kind of blend of that. And what it's about is hearing from people, learning from people, and finding your own path to how to inspire that audacious, outrageous, legendary, because you got to be consistent, legendary customer experience, starting with an engaging and sincere, respectful employee experience. Simply put, how you treat your employees is how they're going to treat your customers. But it doesn't take much for an employee to feel empowered. And if there was any mantra that I offer anybody on the planet, is do whatever it takes to make the customer happy, to make the guest happy. See that a lot in hospitality. I'm very lucky. I have some amazing hospitality clients, and it's just such a joy to hear somebody, you know, when somebody's either asking a question or making a complaint, there's no rolling of the eyes or, oh, I got to think of the right thing to say. It would be, whoa, let's figure this out. All right, I hear you. I got it. All right. I wouldn't like that either if the water was dripping all through the night, whatever it is. Okay. But you see that also in places, and I am going to say, even though say what you want about them, but you can go into Starbucks and, their rule of thumb is you do whatever it takes. You want me to make the drink over? I'll make it over.
Right.
And I go into other places. It always amazes me why people don't copy something that works, that makes people happy. Because,
Right.
Southwest Airlines, Herb Kelleher. I remember the first time you went on a plane in Southwest and all of a sudden they're cracking jokes. It's like, what? And you call up and they're going, how you doing? What's going on? And I'll never forget when I called up, this was many years later after, and Southwest in 2008 was the only organization, the only airline that did not go in the red. They stayed in the black all during the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Why? They treat their employees the way they want their guests to be treated, period. And I remember I called up to make a reservation, and all the other airlines, at least most of them do, charge if you make the reservation over the phone.
Right.
And they go, I can take your reservation. I go, you're going to charge me more? And she just, without missing a beat, goes, do you really think Herb would charge more to talk to a human being? And I went, I love you. Because I had told her I'd written, Herb had just passed, and I had written this great article on Herb Kelleher in one of my blogs. Because I met him living in Dallas. And, he just exuded this. And, can everyone be a Herb Kelleher? No. Can everyone be a Tony Hsieh, from Zappos? And, no. So hire somebody who can. Get a middleman. Get a middle woman. Get a middle person in there. If you know that you're a command and control leader, it's not working anymore. Get someone in there who isn't.
Right. And that makes me wonder, like, your expertise is leveraged by large companies that have a large base of employees. It's a big problem for them just because they have a lot of employees, but a lot of the people listening to this podcast are not in that situation. And maybe they think that this wouldn't apply to them, but what's something that an entrepreneur or a business owner or even an employee of such people could do today to improve their customer experience, their innovation, their creativity? Because it's on the line for everybody right now. I think everyone's got to do this if they want to survive.
And not just survive, but thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And you can. That's the beauty, is it's going to mean risk. And the only way I know how to get comfortable with risk is by risking. And the best place to do it is with improvisation. I mean, I'm just telling you that's the way to just get comfortable. Did I just say that? Did that creative thing just come out of my mouth? So what's one way? First of all, understand, and I know, I so respect, Trevor, what you do for the small businesses. That's it. If there's anything, what we love to call the mom and pop, which there's got to be a better term for that. I mean, it's warm and fuzzy, but it's almost seems old. Come up with, let's you and me improvise.
We'll improvise something.
Yeah, right. Remember that one movie, the local, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. She called herself the local bookshop, or the bookshop around the corner, and
Mm-hmm.
that defines it. Just be what you are, And so you get to make it different. You get to remember somebody who came in a week ago or a month ago. And if you don't, start remembering. Those are you sitting there worrying about where's your dollar going to come from? Where's it going to come from? Where's it going to come from? It gets worry. If I told you that right now I'm worried about something, you would see it on my face. I'm sorry. You have to be a pretty great actor to cover up worry. You could hear it in people's voices, and you've got to go every day and go, you know what? I am going to make friends with my customers today. I am going to make friends with my employees today. And you know what? Make that your goal. You make that your goal, the money comes. It just does. Wouldn't you rather have word of mouth than hiring some Madison Avenue marketeer? You know, my whole thing is that you start using your employees, they become the wise. I mean, when I did this for an organization, I said, next time you have one of those brainstorming meetings, bring the receptionist in. Watch how he or she knows something about what you do. And it's like, they did that. I still get emails going, oh my God, Maxine, like, I'm going, that's all you got to do. You know, and I tell the big guys, and this is the little ones too, you make up your little procedure manual. You must do this, you must do that. If 362 should be, and if it doesn't work, change it. But they're like, hang on, we've got to do it this way. So, you know who else is good at that? See's Candy. I will tell you, I've got a great story. My friend was going to New York and wanted to bring some See's Candy. The store closed. They knock on the door, and the guy goes, I'm going to New York. I want to bring a box. She opens the door and sells him a box of candy. And I have to tell you, during the pandemic,
so simple, but so amazing at the same time.
I'm telling you the story. That's how amazing it is. Okay. The part that should be uncomfortable for people is that people share the negative more than they share the positive.
Oh, that's true. Sure.
So, I mean, we love to dish people. Do you believe so-and-so phone company did that to me? And I will tell you, I had a call with Verizon once, and they said, I'm not getting off the phone with you until we figure this out. If you don't think that, just even repeating it gave me a smile. You know, it was like, I'm in the right hands. Thank you. You know,
makes sense.
It really is. And so if you just change your motive for the day and suspend, I'm not saying, you know, don't look at the numbers. We need to look at our numbers. We need to, but give it some time and just suspend it and go, guys, let's come together here. What can we do? Can we give something to our neighbors, our other stores? Maybe it's hey, we make, you know, maybe it's the dog place and go here, you know, give this to your favorite customer, a free dog cleaning. I just came up with it, you know, like you're the dog cleaner, something like a car cleaner, car wash, dog groomer. Sorry, come be, you know, you're a groomer and your neighbor is a grocery store, whatever. Go, listen, why don't you just give these to the staff and they can give these out to their favorite customer and go, or a dog, if you have a dog, give it away. I mean, make it community, make it that. This is why I love what I do, because I just come up with these ideas. What? And I will tell you, if I brought that up, 9 out of 10 people would go, nah,
they would just disregard that idea?
Totally. Or they would do it once and they didn't get anyone. Sorry, I did it for 2 days. Not working.
Well, I really like the idea of community, you know, businesses and a community working together, you know, to promote themselves and support themselves. And I think, you know, that's kind of the way it used to be a couple hundred years ago. There was no internet. There was nothing else to do except support each other. And, you know, it'd be great to get back to that. So I like the idea.
I do too. Now that I'm thinking of it, I really do. You know, it's like just everybody.
You're going to get a bunch of dog grooming places calling you.
Yeah. Well, I worked at a very famous, it would be considered a high-end card store, you know, and right around the holidays, we went around to the other stores and go, by the way, we do gift wrapping, you know, just, and, you know, please let your customers know. And, you know, and every now and then we would bring them something if we did, you know, that's it. And we, towards later on, we had an Apple store right down the street. And whoa, man, were they sending us people.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. So what do you know now that you wish you'd done when you started, you know, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur?
Oh, maybe look at my numbers sooner. I
understand that.
You know, my trajectory, I am one of these people that believe your trajectory is your trajectory. Maybe a little bit more trust in myself. Maybe not doing this alone, because it can be pretty, alone there doing it. Because as you can tell, I'm a people person, and I'm talking about collaboration. And who am I collaborating with? And now I have a lovely group of people. There's so many of us around the world that do what we call implied improvisation. Eric Yuan, who started Zoom. Look at us, we're on. His whole thing in the beginning was he didn't even hire a marketer for the first 6 months. He just wanted to get people to come back and tell him what they thought. This is before the pandemic, et cetera. And he also said his big thing was, when you're 20, go get your idea, go for your dreams. His big thing was, I would do that. When I was 20, I was on the floor of the Board of Trade. I thought I was doing my dreams, and I was told by a company many years ago, and they're not in business anymore, E.F. Hutton, and I loved them. But when I said I would like to become a floor broker, I proved myself, I love numbers. Business comes really innate with me. It just does. And they said, our woman quota is filled in New York, Maxine. And I went, oh, all right. I don't know. I have so many lessons from this trajectory. And the one would be just honor it. Don't compare yourself to other people. If there's anything that is going to be that's the one. Well, so-and-so is already doing that. I shouldn't. Just like I said, nobody copied Southwest Airlines. Why wouldn't you copy something that people love? Instead, they just got harder asked. Can I say that on whatever?
Sure.
It's like they just got more rules in place and more ornery. Like, I didn't get it. I never got it.
That's true. Maybe there's a couple airlines that
Virgin
tried to emulate them.
Yeah.
Virgin, yeah, but as a general rule, you'd think that everyone would. Wow, that's a great idea. We should do that. It just seemed to get worse and worse and worse. I don't even like to fly anymore. And if I do, it is Southwest. That's who I fly with.
And even there, Herb left. There's some things, we all listen.
They need to copy themselves again.
This has not been an easy time for anybody. And,
Sure.
As you and I were talking before the show, that, when the pandemic first happened, I put the podcast down because people were dying. I did not care. You don't like the customer service? Have a little empathy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No one is doing this well right now. We're all doing the best we can, okay? Let's cut each other some slack, but everyone was trying to go business as usual. What planet and you can't even say what planet are you living on, because there was nowhere on this planet you could go. So yeah, it had to be another planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, someone else asked me that, and this is one that I still even get to tell myself this. You're enough, Maxine. You don't have to, we try to, and as a woman, part of that was that, that I had to add some extra bells and whistles to my personality and be more serious and also being mature now. I don't care. And it really is just don't edit yourself. Even when I do an improv class, I'm the same way. I'll have a teacher say to me, "You're in your head, Maxine. Get out of your head."
Mm-hmm.
And when we are just listening, like Trevor, I'm going to share this. You asked me to go, should we talk about what questions I'm going to ask you? And I said no, because I like being on the spot and how, when I do have the questions, I'm like all prepared and I sound like a bullet, and that doesn't go well for me. So just get me in my passion and I'll do that. And, if I had to give anybody anything, it was, don't ignore those little small voices on your dream. One of my favorite things, I keep this next to me. I got to show you. It's my flip chart. Okay. I tell companies, please do not have an idea box. It dies. It goes in and never is seen again. Instead,
Right?
put flip
Like an
charts.
idea coffin.
Yeah, it is. Put flip charts all over your company. And somebody walks by and writes an idea. And then somebody will, I guarantee, 1000%, you can call me up, will yes and it. And what about this? You don't
That's so true. That's a great idea for anyone. I mean,
exactly.
Any business could do that right now, and they'd probably get 10 amazing ideas a day.
Exactly.
From their customers, from their employees.
Wow.
They're the ones in the trenches, right? I mean, they're like digging it out. Like, well, I've always thought that we should do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but they never said it because they didn't want anyone to step on it.
And it did that. I call it the whoosh. You know, you've got this, come to me with your ideas. And, you know, you come and they go, no
way.
That's not going to work. Well, give me another one. Well, sorry. You're not going to get another one. You already whooshed me. Yeah. Yeah. And I can tell when I whoosh people. And it's like, once you learn this simple process of going, and yes, we tried that last year, but the economic environment has changed. Let's look at it again. Or how about in 6 months when we've got the budget for it, I want you to come to me. What I always tell my C-suite managers, don't go. Well, go put it in writing. Sometimes you don't know why something is going to work. I can't give you 10 reasons why something might work. I just got this gut. It came to me in the shower, or I was driving to work. I saw this other store and it made me think, you know.
And you need that collaboration, right? You need to collaborate with someone else to flesh it out. I mean, it just doesn't happen all in your head by yourself.
Brilliant.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me.
Look,
in my
just what we're doing right now. You're finishing my sentences right there. Yeah.
Okay, we're in the groove now, Maxine.
Now we can start the podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. My guest today.
Well, isn't this great? Look at how much fun we're having. That's how much fun you can have with people. You know,
this exact process happens when I write a blog post. When I write something, I always figure out what I want to say at the end of it. And then I have to cut and paste that and put it at the beginning.
I know. It's a beautiful process. And maybe in you telling me, what do I have? I go, this is the process. Can people get to where I am now sooner? Maybe. Have I had a blast doing it? Yes. Was I in the trenches wondering how the hell am I going to crawl out of this one now? Yes. You know, because I didn't have any faith. I lost faith in myself. It happens. It happens to us. You know, we're human.
Pretty much all of us go through that process at some point, I think.
But
I love what you said. I love what you said. You are enough.
Yeah.
I think that's a lesson everyone has to learn at some point.
We do.
Yeah.
And, you know, we try so hard to put on this hat and that hat, you know, to make it look and different and, you know, curl ourselves up into some pretzel to think we need to please somebody and, you know, usually the boss or the boss even does it. And right now, and that's why, you know, as we're seeing and have seen, because of the pandemic, and this, who knows how long it's going to last, this could be true forever, that people are not wanting to get back to work. And that's because they got a feel of what it was like to be human. You know, you tried to put on the one hat, you know, moving the kitchen dishes off the table to put your laptop on there. And now I've got to be the, you know, the CFO, you know what I mean? And it's like, I can't do this anymore. All right, kids, go to bed. All right, what were you saying? You know, go take your nap, you know, and get back to work. They got a feel of what it was like to not have to be that pretzel. And they don't want to go back to that. They want to know that they're respected. They want to know that none of us, and even before the pandemic, I said, nobody graduated college going, I can't wait to be micromanaged. Tell me what to do. You know? Command and control, it's gone. It's gone. So play with ideas now.
Now's the time, right? No time like the present. No time to be in the present. See what I did there?
Whoa, write that one down. I love no time like the present, no time to be in the present. There never is. That's why I try to do it all. That's why I love what I do. Is I guarantee when I go in and do these things virtually that no one will be looking at the phone during my workshop. No one.
That is a good sign.
And it's because we're in.
I mean, that's almost incredible for that to happen.
And that's because they don't know what's going to happen next.
Right,
They got to be on their toes. They got to be in the
right.
present.
They got to be in the present moment.
And it's so, in the beginning, people would go, oh my God, just to laugh for an hour. Because at first it wasn't about being serious. I called it drop and play. Drop what you're doing, drop the seriousness, drop the heaviness. Let's just play. Yeah.
Well, I think would be an incredible thing for everyone at this stage of the game. Is we need to be more lighthearted to face the future.
And face each other, give each other some compassion.
Right.
Give yourself some. Just like I said, I mean, I could, my trajectory was not, it was like anything else. And you gotta start with yourself. And the more compassion you can give yourself, the more compassion and empathy you give others. And that's all.
I like it. I like it. So who's the ideal client for you? Describe the ideal client.
I get a lot. I'm going to preface this with a lot of people go, oh God, can my place use that? They really need that. And I go, I can't sell a need anymore. So anybody that wants to just get your people together, give up on the, 20 ways of doing things, the 30 different vision statements, and come up with one short motto, as being, who are we going to please today? Or how are we going to please them today? How can I change somebody's life today? Just by coming into this world, just starting out with something like that. These are the people that are ready to, all right, I'm nervous about this. Look at who she's worked with. And it doesn't, I'm getting a little loose. And I say, go back to how you used to do it. Get the script out. But if you're going to get the script, at least make it sound improvised. Those, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so is there any type of
hospitality.
Entrepreneur?
Hospitality, I love that. Entrepreneur, yeah. The people that love business for business, and they want to get their family on board,
Mm-hmm.
And, right now, this is not for the people that are trying to figure out how to go to the moon. Oh my God. It's like, take care of your people, would you?
When you say go to the moon, you mean like their expectations are so crazy that they'll never get there?
I mean literally flying in space.
Oh, you mean, so not Elon Musk.
Listen, people can do whatever. That's the beauty of living in a capitalistic society. People can do whatever they want with their money.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about entrepreneurs? I believe you have a coaching program or a coaching platform for entrepreneurs, or so it's not just I work with a lot of entrepreneurs or local business. Maybe they think that what you do is out of reach for them or wouldn't be applicable. But as an entrepreneur,
well, can you say and change that? But yeah, go ahead.
The entrepreneurs are really the backbone of the U.S. economy. The local business, the entrepreneurs, the innovators. If anything, they need to be supported even more on their creativity and innovation because they will change the future. What kind of coaching could they expect from you?
An honest appraisal. And it's not about appraisal. I just go, what do you need and what do you want? And did you get, and let's go for it. It could be that mindset where they've tried so many things, how to just get back there enough. just to tell them that they've got a host support group and they're called employees, how to bring them in on the picture. It's and how to think bigger. Because what I love about what I do is if I went into an organization, and I say even, a small business or with an entrepreneur, and I started, how do you see yourself? They already in their heads have come to a ceiling. But what I come in is I go, okay, unlimited financial resources and the law of physics don't apply. Now, let's talk. So they start getting bigger, and I want them to see that. And I go, well, why can't you do that? Well, you're right. It's just to change that. It's called a jolt. I go in and I want to jolt people's, consciousness, because the same thoughts are going over and over and over, and we're aware of them. And every time I start a new business, this is what happens. And it's first getting people out of that. That's history. I changed the way people talk. Up until now, I used to, instead of I always. Well, you've just labeled yourself, rubber stamped it and sealed it,
So you literally collaborate with them into a new future.
To a new present as well, like you said it.
Right.
It's their present. I do a half-day session, and I have this place where all 4 walls are white. They're whiteboards. And they just sit there, and I ask them questions, and I'm drawing. And I'm like going at it, and they are going at it. And you can wear that hat or that, I got to be enough for about an hour, maybe. I cut right through that very quick. And then they get to read what's on their hearts. They get to say their heart's desire. Then we get to
like peeling an onion. Yeah, so it's hard to see. It's hard to see yourself, I think, sometimes. So you can get someone to help you peel that onion. That's very valuable.
I can't, something I highly respect. Absolutely. Whether I found it in my improv classes or with a coach or my team, that's it.
Great. All right. So what's the first step someone would take if they wanted to work with you?
Maxine at MaxineShapiro.com.
Very straightforward.
Very straightforward. And, just schedule a half an hour call there. And I love putting, I go, magic can happen in a half an hour. People are blown away at how quickly something like this takes. It's not a year's process. It's not, not a lifetime process. It's about right now and being flexible. We all need that agility. That's it. We don't know. And so much of what I deal with right now is people petrified by the unknown. And yet I try to show them, you've been living it a long time. You just don't realize it. You thought you were securing your job. Talk to the people that were let go. That's it. So just how exciting the unknown can be when you know how to deal with it, when you can ride the wave. There's so many different metaphors for it. I've got 1,000 of them, and how just planting a seed, you got to give it a little bit of time. You don't go, hurry up, seed. Oh, and there's a season for everything. There really is. We live by seasons. Nature is built that way. Why do we think we're any different? We got to keep growing. We got to keep moving. We got to keep, allow people to get to know you just the way you are, and it may be, dear customers, what the heck have we been through? And we're still going through it. I want you to know we are here for you. Come in, we'll smile. If we have any teammate, we'll make it for you. Whatever. Just be. I will tell you that when I did retail, I love retail. I always stay on the floor because I love what I do. And I say that it can be an experience that shows empathy, appreciation. Let someone who's lonely know they're not alone. or it can be the nightmare that social media loves to hear about. Okay, because they do. You're never going to believe when I went into so-and-so store. It's like, what the heck was that about? Or when I went online and they had this bot. Some of those bots you want to just scream at. People eventually want, so for all the tech entrepreneurs, they want to know that eventually they can get to a human being.
Right.
That's it.
That's so true. That's exactly how I feel every time I need some help with something.
Yeah. And there is a very famous department store. Boy, they just throw things up on the wall. I mean, they had a chat there. And they said, if you want to talk to somebody at this makeup counter, and I would call, they didn't say it's Sunday, we're not there, whatever. I'm sitting there. Don't offer something if you can't back it up with the real thing.
I think this would lead back to your idea about the receptionist. Ask the receptionist. She actually knows what's going on. Ask your people at the call center that have to field these irate customers. Ask the customer how they would improve things.
I got to tell you, there was this one business. I would love to say their name because they run the I'll just say higher end surgery clothes, whatever I forgot the term for surgery clothes, anyway, they took their call center, all the people in their call center, and you know how in the front you've got the sales executives, and the call center is usually they brought them all into the front of the building.
Wow.
And I just went, yeah. When I left the Board of Trade once for a very short while. I was at one of my lowest places. I tried being an office broker. That means I had clients and I was in commodities and, 90%, 99% of your real people, they lose. Like you can't, in commodities, you can't say you're investing. It's all speculation, And I was in a really low spot. And I found this one job doing customer service for a car rental. Now, the floor where the headquarters was, gorgeous, plants all over, beautiful place. I was in a room where desks were peeling. It was so pathetic. It was so pathetic. And the manager was up. And I was like smoking. I don't know why they just didn't put us in the basement. It was that. But that's how people feel about their call centers. And they're on quotas. Got to get these many calls. When at Zappos, you know what they do? Again, you do whatever. They will talk. If they at all feel it is a lonely soul and someone needs conversation, you stay on with that person, baby. You don't get off. You stay on with them.
Mm-hmm.
They learn about someone's passing, they get to send flowers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know Zappos is incredible. And Trader Joe's actually does a really good job with the customer experience.
Trader Joe's is a delight too,
Yeah, I just love going there just to go there.
Yeah, I just kind of wish there was a different way of saying, did you find what you were looking for? Because I could say no and they go, anyway. They need to every day come up with a new phrase that isn't, the same, because we all get it. Once again, how to make something organized sound improvised. And if nothing else, it's listen to the answer.
I know it's easy to get into a rut, right?
It is. And I have empathy for that as well. Really.
Great. Well, thank you for your time today, Maxine.
Trevor.
I appreciate your insight.
And I appreciate your questions. Really, you get it. Strong value to it. And I'd love to help anybody that just knows they want a little bit more, that they're so ready to try something different, as you were, and asking me to be on this podcast. So thank you.
Absolutely. So if any of our guests would like to improve their innovation and creativity for yourself, your company, or your group, visit MaxineShapiro.com. And of course, you mentioned your email, Maxine@MaxineShapiro.com. And, again, Maxine, thanks for joining us. To our guests, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Thanks, Trevor.